dream? Who got money on their dream? Who got time on their dream? What you got on your dream? Y'all ready to make it happen? Let's tighten it up. Let's tighten it up. Let's tighten it up. Let's tighten it up. Let's invest in our dream. Let's invest in the challenge. Let's invest in the purpose. Boy, I feel good about y'all.
Everybody had to lay it on the line. You trying to get to that starting job, this your time. You trying to stay the starter, this your time. You trying to show Coach Prime that last year you might have was alright, but this year you way better, this your time.
Are you prepared? What separates you? No starters, I've heard that, right? What separates you? From him. From him. From him. What separates you? Come on, let's talk. What separates you from the next man?
Nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you, Dante. What are your first impressions of the offense and getting to work with Shador and all the wide receivers you got in your room?
Very, very fun, very explosive. You know, we're gonna put up a lot of points this year for sure.
And obviously, you've had a previous relationship with Shador. Obviously, he was committed to FAU at one point. I mean, what's it been like now getting to finally play with him?
He had great QB. He a pro. You know, he helped me improve my game, and we just share each other's knowledge and we go out there and execute.
Obviously, there's a lot of talent in the receiver room. How has it been for you building a bond with those guys while also knowing that you're fighting for the same reps?
Man, it's been great. I mean, it's a lot of competition in that room. You know, everybody's still trying to adjust to each other, but we feed off each other energy. So we compete, but we also boost each other up when we're doing good and stuff like that.
You guys have been working out all off-season, obviously, but is there a different feel when you get to the first day of spring ball and actual practice?
Yeah, the energy is definitely going to be up there. You know, we back playing football, the thing that we came to this school for, you know, so the juices was flowing, everybody was flying around, everybody was excited, so it was a lot of energy, yeah.
Does it help with the transition having your brother here as well? Oh,
yeah, definitely. You know, baby bro, taking my baby bro with me is always fun to play at a high level with your family that you grew up with. So, yeah, it's definitely been an easy transition with him.
How's it been for you working with Coach Phillips?
Oh, great. I mean, he's old school, so and I'm new school, so we can kind of blend those together, and I feel like that it works out perfectly with him. That's my guy right there.
Preston Hodge just said that you're one of the guys that he really enjoys competing against. How have you liked kind of matching up with him? Oh,
he's a dog. I mean, he gave me so many different looks that I ain't really see before, so going against him is actually great competition too. He's a dog, got great feet, and very physical, so yeah, it's great competition with him as well.
For you and your brother, just what made Colorado the right choice for you to
Coach Prime, and it's just this environment, this family. You know, it's a big jump for us because we come from Florida. It's far from Florida, but a big adjustment. But we've been taking risks all our lives. So me and my brother, it was a no-brainer to come here and get the exposure, get coached by NFL talent. So it was great.
Dante, how would you describe your game for somebody who's never seen you play? How have you kind of been so productive leading FAU with all-time receptions for somebody who maybe not be the biggest or the strongest?
I just play with a lot of heart and intensity and a lot of hunger, you know. I know I don't have the size, the speed, the strength, so I just play with a lot of heart and effort. And my skill set is going to show for sure.
Do you anticipate returning punts?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Yeah. I'm trying to get some kickoff return, but that'll probably be limited because, you know, offense as well. So,
Can you talk about that skill a little bit and kind of where you developed that and what you like about doing it?
I was God gifted, you know, to be able to have good vision, and you know, you really playing in traffic back there, so you gotta be different to be back there, and God blessed me to be different, so you feel me? It was an easy transition, and I'm able to make plays back there.
Who's faster, you or Travis?
Well, we ain't raced yet, but I feel like I can get him.
That's the bar, just so you know.
We ain't raced yet, but I feel like I can get him. He a dog, though. That's my guy.
How you guys get along so well?
It's good. It's great competition. It's like having Kobe and Michael Jordan in one room together. Yeah,
that's one guy.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, me and Trav, that's my guy. He's a dog, man. we're looking to have a great year this year, for sure.
How much did the production you had last season just build your confidence and make you know that you're ready to make a jump like this up to, Power 5 conference?
Well, I've been had that confidence just coming from where I come from. Not a lot of people make it from where I come from, so just having that chip on my shoulder and being confident gonna get me here. So I always trusted and betted on myself.
Have you worked with Shedeur in previous off seasons at all? Like, have you guys got
No,
together?
this is our first time. I actually met Shedeur in 2021, but we never really got to work out with each other or anything. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm super fired up to be here. Excited to be back home. This is my home state. Working for Coach Prime has been great so far, and just looking forward to building an elite unit up front. So I'm excited to be here.
Coach, how excited are you to get this first opportunity to be an on-the-field coach after being in an analyst role the last few years?
I'm very fired up about it. Being in an analyst role, got to work with some great coaches, from Glenn Ellerby, Randy Clemens, Jake Thornton, and most recently Bill Beatonbow. So I learned a lot from those guys and was able to pick something from each one of them. And, so I'm excited to do it. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I'm glad the opportunity came.
What were the emotions like when you are in this process of getting a position, just knowing you're going to be able to come back home, obviously, to a place you know really well?
Oh, yeah, it was surreal, man. It was a full circle for me. Obviously being about an hour and 45 minutes down the road, so being able to come back to my hometown, spend time with my parents and my sister who still live here, so it's great. It was great.
Of course, you want well-sized guys on the offensive line, but what does a successful O-line look like to you?
Just a bunch of physical guys up there that can communicate with each other, and whether it's opening holes for the running back or keeping the quarterback clean, just want physicality up front, and some guys that bring the right attitude every single day.
What was that interview with Coach Prime like, and what you know about this job, knowing how important that is to Coach Prime, giving the guy back there in the pocket?
Oh yeah, no, he made that clear. He made that very clear. But the interview process was real. I went and seen him. Went down to his house and seen him and spent some time with him down there, and let him know my philosophy and how I want to take care of things. And that point was definitely made that it's important to keep the quarterback up. So I'm excited to have that chance to do that.
Was Shedeur part of the interview process too?
No, he wasn't there.
Okay.
No.
Because his opinion means something.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach talked to him about it, but he wasn't there that day.
Okay.
Jordan Seaton, just what has impressed you the most about him, his first couple months of college?
Really, man, his football knowledge, as being a freshman coming in, a guy straight out of high school, his knowledge is up there. So he's a student of the game. He works hard. He comes up and watches film and does everything he's supposed to do. So, that's been the most impressive part of him. Obviously, physically, you can see that he's advanced, what I mean? So, but his mental part has been impressive to me.
As a player, you were both at the JUCO level and an All-American at Oklahoma, so you kind of saw both sides of college football. Does that help you relate to all the guys in your room a little bit better from that experience you had as a player?
Yeah, I think so. It's always, like that's one thing Coach Prime talked about is, having guys who've been there and, how hard it is to tell someone who hasn't been there, and vice versa. So I definitely lean on my experience as a player. Being a good player doesn't make you a good coach. I understand that as well. But I definitely lean on my experiences.
As Shermer was just getting to Minnesota and you were retiring, was there any overlap, and how well do you know him?
Very little. So I retired. I spent like OTAs period with him, and then I retired that summer. So I got a chance to meet him, obviously at that time. But he was I think he was tight ends coach at that time. But I spent a little bit of time with him, but it wasn't much. Like you said, it was at the end of my career. We kind of just, passed in the night right there. So.
You guys have brought in a couple of transfers, Justin, Khalil, Tyler, that have played good ball at their previous spots. What kind of standard have they set since arriving here?
I mean, they're setting the standard. Coach Prime says the standard is the standard, and they're part of setting that standard in our room. You hit it on the head. Those guys have played a lot of ball, and they bring a lot of experience to us. So, just been leaning on those guys as well, just to set the standard in the room, but leaning on their experiences too. So it's good to have those guys here.
We've seen this guy spend a lot of time with Shedeur throughout the offseason. Just from your experience as a player, I mean, how valuable is that just with the offensive line, the quarterback getting so close and getting to know each other so well off the field?
Oh, it's great. I mean, camaraderie. We got to have camaraderie with the five, but also, you know, spending time with your quarterback always makes it better. You know what I mean? And you know, they build relationships off the field and on the field. So you know, it makes, not that it makes them want to protect them more or anything like that, obviously, but just it's always good to have that, you know, that bond between the quarterback and the offensive line. And Shedeur does a great job with that, you know, as far as getting with those guys on and off the field, like you mentioned. And, you know, they trust him. They're building their trust with him right now, and he's building his trust with them. So it's been great.
As a local guy, you know some of the great linemen who've played here and I've played with and some around those guys. But how important is that to get kind of that culture, the identity back that, you know, growing up here, CU had? It was kind of like Nebraska that way. We're going to be O-line U kind of play.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the goal. You know, definitely we want to recruit the top talent, as you've seen with Jordan coming in, and then also, you know, hopefully keep the guys that are in state, keep them here too. You know, we've got some good linemen that are at other places right now, and we hopefully can build a fence around that and keep those guys here so that we don't have to, you know, look at them, you know, at other places. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can start building that relationship around the state.
That's a priority for you.
100%.
Given the talent here.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
To Colorado, gone about how you expected to at the stage?
Yeah, being from Dallas is basically, can we redo that? My fault.
Yeah, no. Just transitioning from Liberty to here, is it what you expected it was going to be like?
Oh, yes, sir. Coming in, I knew I was going to be playing nickel and corner, so it's not really a difference for me. I would say I'm a dog, you know what I'm saying? So playing either position isn't really a difference. At Liberty, I started at nickel, then they moved me mid-season to corner, so I know both.
What do you prefer?
Probably nickel, because I like to be in the box. I'm physical as well. I like to get my hands on somebody, so I'll probably say nickel.
You guys had a lot of success at Liberty the last couple of years. I mean, what did you learn from all the winning you guys were doing over there? Do you feel like will translate to here, the winning you guys are trying to do here?
All glory to God. You know, I would just say at Liberty we were a team. You know, we were a family. We were more bonded. We did like team activities outside of football. So I would say bringing that over to Colorado, being more of like a unity, you know, more of a family, that will bring great success for the football team.
How was the process of you kind of setting that standard from such a successful team coming over here? How has that process kind of been in the first couple months here?
It's been pretty easy because, like I say, I give glory to God and I just go day by day, you know, trying to be my best on and off the field, and that's a light for others, you know. So I would say that.
How would you rate the competition in the defensive backs room? You guys have a lot of faces and a lot of new people. What are you seeing at practice?
Very great competition. I don't think there's no solidified spot yet, so I would say the competition is very great. Yes, ma'am.
What's it been like for you getting to know some of the new guys?
It's been easy. I'm a people person. I can make friends easily, so I would just say it's been easy.
What's it been like working under Coach Livingston, just in his defense so far?
It's been great. We play a lot of man, and that's what at Liberty we played, so I was kind of used to it. So.
I mean, he's an NFL guy, obviously. How much does that, you know, maybe earn the respect of the room kind of right away? Obviously, he coached secondary in the NFL. I mean, how much does that kind of impress you, just kind of his football knowledge early?
It's impressed me a lot. That's a big reason why I came to Colorado, because a lot of the guys, coaches here, they know what it takes to get to the NFL. They've been there before. They've coached players that are in the NFL, so I knew coming here would be a big step for me.
You mentioned you're from Dallas. I mean, there's a lot of Texas guys on this roster. I mean, how fun has that been, just kind of being around a lot of guys that maybe you were at camps with or just kind of knew from being around in Texas?
Yeah, it's great because we all, I would say we're all from the same place, so we kind of like act the same, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's been great fun.
The cornerback room includes, you know, Travis and Carmani, who were top-rated recruits. So Marion Cooper was a starter here last year. As you look around that room, have you been able to take things from them, but also try to impart what, you know, your experience with them as well?
Yeah, especially Travis. You know, he's a leader. Just watching him and what he does on and off the field, being the first guy in line in the drills. You know what I'm saying? I try to be right there with him and lead by example like him. So yes, sir.
impressive. Any receivers impressed you early on, guys that you're kind of looking forward to competing with, battling with as we kind of get on the spring and fall?
Yes, sir. For outside, so far, when I'm out here playing corner, I would say Miller, Omarion, he's a dog. And then for the slot, Wester, the twin, yeah, he's nice too. So yeah, yes, sir.
Have you covered Travis yet?
Nah, I haven't covered Travis yet.
Are you looking forward to that?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Most definitely. Yes, sir.
What's your first impressions of Boulder, just being in the area the last couple months?
Cold as heck, man. Like I said, I'm from Dallas, so I'm used to that heat, 100-degree weather every day. So being in Boulder is different, you know. But I'm getting used to it. So and the air quality, get my nose, mouth, throat get dry all the time. So yeah.
We'll get to 100 degrees in the winter. Yeah, in the summer.
It's a dry cold.
First day, I thought the first day went well. We just wanted these guys to come out and understand the standard. We wanted to set the standard, especially up front. We want these guys to be physical, be able to knock guys back, and be able to play the run, but also convert the pass when it's passing situation. So I thought overall the day wasn't bad.
What's the transition been like for you into a new role on the staff?
It's been great. Of course, I've been in the secondary for about 13 years of my life, but I've been a D coordinator for 10, so I understand how we want the front play and what we expect from the front. But it's been great overall, especially working with these guys who come out to work every day and give us everything they got every day.
What has the offseason looked like for you in terms of planning for spring and just what you want to do with this team?
Started out recruiting, making sure that we brought the right guys in, the guys that first of all fit at CU, what we look for at CU, but other than that, just making sure that we get the right guys that fit the system. We want guys on the edges who can play the run but also rush the passer. We're a team that's going to get after the passer this year and cause a lot of havoc in the backfield.
You've also been a head coach, obviously.
Yes, sir.
All those different roles you have, does that help you kind of grow as a coach and help you in this new role?
It helped me tremendously. Like I said, being a coordinator, being a head coach, being a coordinator for 10 years of my life, I kind of understand what the expectations are up front, and that's what we want to do with these guys. We want to hold them accountable, first of all, so they can meet their expectations, but making sure they understand the system so they can do good in the system. But the transition has been great for me, and being a head coach has helped me out a whole lot.
What do you like about some of the newcomers that you've gotten into your room in the offseason so far?
Just the hard work. These guys show up to work every day. The consistency, holding each other accountable, understanding that it's a lot of edge. We got a lot of guys on the edge, so areas only 2 guys can play. But just the competition, making sure that they understand that, hey man, we coming out every day to compete and get better, and then the next guy's up.
How much have Arden and Kyrie, just being in the system from last year, kind of stepped up as leaders in JD's absence?
Of course, Arden right now is out with a hand injury, but he's been every day. He's been here since his surgery. He's been a tremendous leader. We expect a lot out of Arden. Arden had a lot of playing time for us last year, so we expect when he comes back, he fit right in. Kyrie, just making sure that he understands what we expect from him on first down, and it's being a physical player at the point of attack. Of course, we know he can rush the passer, but we got to create him to be a physical player at the point of attack. And he's been buying into that.
What have you seen out of Quincy Wiggins early on since he's got here?
Big, strong, physical kid. He's been able to play the 5 and the 3-4, so we've been able to put him inside out. Quincy understands what we expect from him, especially coming from a big-time program like LSU. But just making sure that he gets the fundamentals of each technique that we want him to play correctly, because they are both 2 different techniques that we ask him to play. So we want him to make sure that he can play the 5 technique before we able to put him in the 3 technique. So we asking him to do dual things, but he's adjusted to it well.
Samuel had some success last year at Pitt.
He did.
You've seen some good things out of him early.
Seeing great things out of Sam. He's a guy that's going to be there early and stay late. He's going to bug you and walk to your door. He's going to be the first guy at your door every day for more. But Sam has been great, man. A tremendous pass rusher. Of course, now we're just working on getting him big in the weight room.
Coach Livingston said that he wants input from the other defensive coaches in that room. What does that collaboration look like so far?
It's been great. Working with Coach Livingston has been great, man. He calls on everybody for input. Of course, that's good when you can have input around the staff. And man, just working with him, man. He's a fun-loving guy. He's very hyper, as you can see, running up and down the field when we get in the interception. But it's been a tremendous fit. I think it's a great fit for the players, not only for the players, for the scheme that we want to bring and we want to have here at CU.
just overall, I mean, how different is this spring than last year? And even compared to fall camp too, just kind of the guys knowing what you expected them day in and day out.
I think the biggest difference is that we've been with these guys for a while. And last spring we had just got here, so we was trying to create a culture. Right now these guys understand the culture, they understand the standard, and we got to hold them to their expectations. So it's been great, man. Being with these guys the past 2 months, being in the weight room with them, seeing them compete, seeing them hold each other accountable, seeing them hug each other, seeing them down, seeing this guy come pat a guy on the back, man. And that's what we want. We want to build continuity and chemistry. Of course, when you get a lot of transfers, that's the first thing you have to do is build continuity and chemistry. And I think these guys are playing along just fine.
One last question for Coach.
Both of your coordinators have been longtime NFL guys.
Yes, sir.
Have been in college a whole lot, the last decade or whatever. But what's the benefit to that, to having Sherman and Livingston bring in that NFL influence?
Because at the end of the day, these guys are trying to get to where they've been, and they're able to talk to these guys and make sure they understand how to practice, how we do things about when we walk in the door early in the mornings. Everything is about football. We walk through those double doors. So just having those guys as great leaders that came from where these guys are trying to get to, it's been awesome because it's only better to hear from somebody that's been there. And when you can hear from somebody that's been there every day, it only helps you get there faster, and also helps you when you get there to understand what it's about once you walk in the door. Thank you all. Yes, sir.
Actually, it's been a great experience. I've been with Coach Prime a long time. You know, obviously you guys are aware he and I played together in Atlanta. We first met during the All-American Tour, so I've been knowing him a long time. I know his expectations, and it's just it's a breath of fresh air for me to be here as opposed to being on my couch like I was last season.
How is he different or similar as a
He's not. He's not. He demands excellence. He demands you to meet the expectations of the standards that are set. He's a winner, obviously. Everywhere he's been, he's won. Every sport he's played, he's been a dominant force in it. So he hasn't changed at all, in my opinion. And it's good for these kids to get to understand what it takes to be champions and what it takes to be winners.
You obviously have a lot of talent returning in your room with Travis and Jimmy and Amari and some of the younger guys, but also bringing in some talented guys too. I mean, what's been kind of the mix for the wide receiver room throughout the offseason so far?
It's hard to tell because the guys that we recruited aren't here yet. But as far as, you know, the guys that have been here last year, we've been hit with a little bit of injuries this past off season, so hadn't really had a chance to see Jimmy Horn yet. Travis a lot better than he was, you know, last season as far as understanding what's required of him and what's expected. But it's a great opportunity for the other guys to get reps and to get opportunity to get reps and to prove who they are and why they're here. So I'm looking forward to that. And coaching everybody in the room, that's the main thing, making sure that everybody's ready.
Coach, what have you seen from the Jonte Lester so far?
Extremely quick, extremely knowledgeable, a veteran, a guy that, you know, understands and read coverages well, and just an explosiveness. I mean, it's no secret as to what he did last season and why he's here, because he's an explosive player.
You mentioned physicality is going to be a key for your group, and what have you seen out of your group early on in that sense? How do you pull that out of them?
Oh man, it's an expectation. Everything we do, the way we approach the field, how we take the field, how we run routes, it's all physicality. It's not always about putting, you know, hands on people. It's a mindset, and we need to establish that mindset early, and we're going to be able to do that given the numbers shortage at the position. So we're going to see how mentally tough you are, because you're going to have to be in order to play this game at the level that we want you to play it and we expect you to play it. So physicality will be a big part of it.
Coach, what have been your first impressions of Omarion Miller?
I like Omarion Miller. I'm starting to fall in love with Omarion Miller. So we're in the dating stages right now. So it's just a matter of, you know, him continue to mature and be the player that we all expect him to be, and obviously be the player that he expects to be. And he's taking the right steps toward that.
Coach, just to follow up, I recently talked to Tim White, Hamilton. Obviously, he was very complimentary. You talked about, you helped him coach him to his first 1,000-yard season. You talked about your commitment to excellence and just being consistent. Why is that why do you think that stood out about your coaching identity? Why is that important?
First of all, Tim White reached 1,000 yards and was an all-CFL player due to him, his abilities, and just him being coachable. My job, as every job I've ever taken, is to come in and give guys my experience, my expertise, my knowledge, and if those guys can take that and help them to achieve their goals, then they'll be successful. So I appreciate Tim White for saying that, but trust me, I had nothing to do with that other than just being at the right place at the right time and him being coachable.
What is the plan with Travis as far as corner and receiver?
Travis will be Travis. That's the plan. As I'm getting to understand the plan as we go along, because obviously my first experience here, having a player like that, and then also being in a situation to where he's being utilized the way he is. So I was under the understanding or impression this was his first day with defense. I'll get him on Wednesday, so I'll have a better understanding of how we're going to do this.
So you might wake up every day like, I might have Travis today.
As long as Travis show up in the building, we got Travis.
You know, like Coach Prime sets the standard. What does your standard look like in coaching room?
Just be coachable, basically. Our guys, be disciplined. Okay, be coachable, be disciplined, and like I mentioned earlier, just be physical. You know, come here every day wanting to do this, not having to do this, right? You got to change your mindset. It's got to be, I get to do this, not I have to do this. So those are the major things, just changing guys' mindsets and changing their perceptions of things. You can't come in here begrudgingly. You should not hit that door and not be ready to practice. You can't wait till you get to the practice field and then prepare to practice. You got to come in this building like we come in this building as coaches, ready to get it in. So that's just, you know, the approach that I'll take without everything I do with these guys.
One last question for Coach.
What have the offensive meetings been like with Coach Shermer as you guys are just kind of preparing to install what he wants to run with this offense?
Interesting, considering we're doing a lot of things that we took a lot of things from last season, from my understanding, and then obviously we're gelling it into, you know, obviously his philosophy, and then we're adding some things that he's been successful with and doing in NFL. So my background is run and shoot, obviously, and air raid, so I'm learning a lot. That's why I use the term interesting, because now I'm learning a different system. So that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but when it comes down to receiver play, it all lines up.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Just finished day one of Spring Ball 2024. We're feeling good. Team camaraderie is going great. Stay tuned, man. Go Buffs.